Hey everybody, Brian Evans here with realestateinvestorcoach.com. I've got another great video lesson for you today. I'm going to talk to you about working with realtors. But before I get too far into this, the very first thing I want you to do after you watch this video lesson, go to realestateinvestorcoach.com, enter your first name and email address to get signed up to become an insider to my blog site. Once you do that, you get a free CD and report valued at $19.95. Or you can call 1-888-866-2360 and get signed up by one of my live representatives. Okay? On with today's video lesson. Today's lesson, working with realtors. This is a very important subject for anybody that's buying and selling properties. And if you're a realtor listening to this as well, this is very important to you as well if you want to grow your real estate business as well, to make more money. That's what it's all about, making more money. So two quick things before I get too deep into all this lesson is, first things first. One, make sure that you say it right, okay? The word realtor is pronounced realtor, not realtor. If you look at the typing on here and how it's spelled out, it's R-E-A-L-T-O-R, realtor. There's no A after L, okay? A lot of people pronounce it realtor. It's not realtor, it's realtor, okay? So that's just a pet peeve of mine. I just want to make sure that you say it right. Realtor or realtor, not realtor, not realtor, okay? Realtor. Okay, next thing. Number two, and I'm just going to go ahead and apologize now up front if I offend anybody, any realtors, with this video lesson. That's not my intention at all. Okay, so take everything with constructive criticism, and again, just know that I want to help you make more money. So those are my two quick things that I wanted to touch on first. The fact is this. Most realtors don't understand the real estate investing side of the business, and that's okay, and it's not the end of the world, but there is more to making money in this business than listing homes for a commission, okay? The main difference between realtors and investors is this. Realtors, they work for a commission, whereas investors work for equity, cash, and cash flow. I've got nothing against realtors. I love realtors. I've got lots of great friends that are realtors. In fact, uh, so I'm not going to downgrade anybody, okay? And I've got realtors that work for me on my team as well, work with me in my office to help us, do more deals. So I've got nothing against realtors. But the problem is the majority of realtors don't understand how this business works. And if they only knew that instead of working for a commission, and they put a little bit more time and money and effort into their knowledge and education, they could start working for equity, cash, and cash flow, because that is where the gold is in this business, not for commissions. So as a real estate investor, you're probably asking yourself, well, should I work with realtors? And my answer is absolutely yes. Okay, you want to pre-screen a realtor just like you would pre-screen another seller or a buyer. You don't want to just hire some realtor or bring some realtor on your team before you pre-screen them. You want to pre-screen them because every realtor is different, and you want to find the one that works best based on the way you invest in real estate and your business needs and so forth. So the thing is to remember is they don't need to understand your business. They don't need to know the ins and outs on how you do things. All they need to know is and understand is your goals. So all you want to do is you want to let the realtor do what they do best, so that way you can do what you do best. Let them list the properties, find buyers, so that way you can continue to buy properties. And the exit strategy that you're using the realtor for is hopefully taken care of when you get them put in place properly. Should realtors work with investors? Yes, absolutely. If you're a realtor watching this video and you want to increase your listings, then you should, without a doubt, let it be known that you want to work with other real estate investors. Investors are great. Now listen, there is a difference between an investor that's been doing it for a while and the newbie investor. And that's okay if you're a newbie investor. But you want to try to find an investor that hopefully has some clout, some seasoning in this business, that's been around a time or two, that's done a few deals. But that's, just start working with other investors because it will definitely help your business grow. You'll learn a lot in the process. And anybody that's feeding you more deals to sell is going to be somebody that you want to become friends with. So one investor relationship could double or triple your business as a realtor if you're a realtor in this business. Just think about that. One investor relationship could double or triple your business. That's phenomenal. Those are great numbers. The key is this. Like anything else, try to establish a win-win relationship with the realtor on your team, okay? It should never be one-sided. It always has to be a win-win relationship. Something, however, that I like to touch on is this. Make sure that you're in control. As the investor, you want to be in control at all times. Now, this doesn't mean that you go and you take advantage and you cheat and do anything like that. Absolutely not. Don't change my words around. But what it does mean is if progress is not being made on the deals that you're providing the realtor, if houses aren't getting sold, then you have to be able to pursue other alternatives without dealing with any restrictions as far as contracts, having to list a property for a certain period of time. Okay, you want to make sure that you are in control and that you have outs if you need them as an investor. And I'm going to continue that with this slide here, and I've put together some language that you may want to use for an agreement that you have that you can use with another realtor. For example, you could put something together such that says this: concerning the listing of all properties between blank the seller and blank the listing agent with blank real estate agency. Okay, I blank the listing agent hereby agree to cancel any current or future property listings if requested to do so by the above mentioned seller at any time and for any reason, unless a contract is in place between seller and a buyer. Additionally, if buyer is brought to the table by seller, then I agree to cancel this listing, the listing on said property for no commission. So it's just saying that, listen, if the realtor's not doing what they set out to do, which is find a buyer, then you have an opportunity to get out of this agreement, to get out of this listing, okay? And this is something that I had my realtor sign, and she signed it, and we've got no problem. And we've got a great relationship going forward. Communication. This is extremely, extremely important. You want to make sure that your realtor communicates with you and that you communicate with your realtor, okay? What I would advise you to do is have a weekly conference call at minimum to discuss what's working and what's not. Depending on how many properties you have listed with this realtor, you want to know what's working. If people aren't buying these properties, if houses are getting shown and people aren't buying, well, then why? Your realtor's job is to find out why these properties aren't selling. Again, their goal is to find a buyer and cash you out so that you can do what you do best as the investor and continue to buy houses and then feed them the deal so that they can get them sold. Flexibility. It is so important that you have flexibility when working with your realtor. Sometimes you may need to ask your realtor to unlist a property or relist it or whatever else. If your realtor can't be flexible with you, then they can't be your realtor. Plain and simple. You need to have flexibility. Things change. Marketing changes. You're going to have flexibility so that way you can test and not be stuck and tied down to any one way of doing things. You absolutely have to have flexibility. Extremely important. And trust. It's vital that you have trust with your realtor and that you trust your realtor and that your realtor trusts you. Again, this is a win-win thing. You're a team. You must work together at all times. And if it doesn't work out, you part ways and then find another realtor. Okay, you're never stuck to one person, and your realtor is not indispensable. In fact, you're probably not indispensable to your realtor. So just make sure you have trust, flexibility, and communication with your realtor at all times. Where to find the best realtor for your team? Well, I want you to know that I found my realtor through doing deals in my area. In fact, the realtor who I now use, she was representing a buyer wanting one of my for sale by owner properties. And she did such a fantastic job communicating with me in my office and keeping us up to speed and getting the deal closed and handling all the details that I knew that this was someone who would fit great into my system. So we pretty much called her, we interviewed her, and the rest is history. We just kind of had this one-on-one conversation. She signed my agreement, and we're doing great. We're doing a great amount of deals together. I'm sending her all my deals, all my properties. I want her to list. I want her to make a boatload of money because the more money she makes, the more money that I get to make. Okay. Continued with that slide, where to find the best realtor for your team. Continued, I would focus on small and private firms. Those are the best ones. I would highly advise you to stay away from the large franchises because they have more guidelines that they have to follow and are limited with what flexibility they have for their listings. They just have other guidelines and obligations that they have to stick to as a franchise. So I would focus on the small private firms, the mom and pop brokerages and things like that, and definitely find somebody within one of those niches in your area and criteria for your real estate investing business to add them to your team. Stay away from the large firms. It's just a hassle you probably don't want to deal with. And then lastly, make sure that you take care of your realtor. Extremely important. Let your realtor know how much you appreciate all the work that they do. Reward them with incentives and cash when appropriate. Make it a joy and a privilege for your realtor to do business with you. Again, it's a two-way street. It's got to be a win-win relationship. Communicate, be flexible, trust your realtor, provide them with deals, reward them when appropriate, and make it a win-win, and everybody will win. So the more deals that you can pass along to them, the more cash you can make, and so forth. So it's great to work with realtors. There's no right or wrong way to do it. These are just some tips that I wanted to provide to you. I hope that you're using realtors in your business. They can feed you deals, and you can feed them deals to sell. So as long as you're making it a win-win relationship, then everything else is gravy. So again, go to realestateinvestorcoach.com to get more great tips and updates and get your free CD and report, or call 1-888-866-2360. This is Brian Evans. Take care.